listening to the Scoop Slam Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Scoop Slam Podcast. We are back. Another week of wrestling to talk about. Guess what? Another pay-per-view to talk about. We got AEW WrestleDream on deck for today. A little contract situation as well coming out of AEW. And then we're going to hopefully coast for a few weeks and just watch some weekly television. That sounds nice. But as always, joining me in the co-pilot seat, the historian of the Scoop Slam Podcast, he's wrestling with his dreams. It's Ryan.
Yo, Micah. Great to be back here. We are a day late, but we are not a dollar short. And as everybody knows, Scoop Slam Podcast is recession-proof. And I'm just ready to get into it, man.
The government shutdown can't stop us from anything, right?
No, sir. No, sir. Can't stop this train.
Yeah, just don't take your Scoop Slam Podcast membership card to Walmart next month because there will be no funds. But did you have a good weekend, Ryan? I know Saturday, obviously, we got to see the Tide whoop up on that nasty orange, low down, dirty Tennessee Volunteers, and what I think was their most complete game all year.
Yeah. Always great to see the Tide winning. We just keep on rolling. I think we're a top 4 seed now, Micah. So, life has been good. You get into anything on the weekend?
I hung out with some friends. I actually purchased a new car Friday.
You've been seeing some photos float around on social media. I didn't know that was you. Is that you?
Yeah,
that's your
me,
new
pal.
ride. Okay, all right.
I didn't want to, but considering my house and car looked like a small village came up and punched it, I had to get all that fixed. So here we are. The car damaged out, hail damage, which is crazy because I had like a 2018 Civic. It was a nice little car. It didn't have a lot of miles on it. And they just wouldn't fix it. They said the repairs were too high. And that was insane to me because I was like, how is this 2018 car only worth like $10,000? So, yeah, here I am, gotta go back in debt.
Was it your third car in 3 years?
Nah, I bought so I had that old beat up Impala. I don't know if you remember that.
Hey, it got you to point A to point B.
It did. And then I went to the Civic in 2021, and then I just got that one Friday. But the strange thing is, man, and I don't know, I think a lot of our listener base is probably around our age, somewhere early, mid-20s maybe. But, nobody explains to you in school, or at least nobody in my life explained to me, the process of going to buy a car. And it's very, uncomfortable if it's your first time.
Yeah.
Because it's just you feel like you're being screwed, but you just can't prove it. The picture of the guy from Dexter when he's got his hands on the wheel and he's just squinting. That's how you feel the whole time while you're in there. But there's nothing you can do about it because you need a car. But there's no parental figure to be like, hey, this interest rate is ridiculous.
Yeah, can you come down that price a little bit, pal? When is it time when do you ask those type of questions? Am I coming down a little too hard there? Or?
Yeah, I don't know. Because at the same time, I don't want to be like a royal douchebag. You know what I mean? But then again, that's kind of their job is to get you a little bit. So that's why I've always thought car dealerships, it feels like a scummy job. I'm not hating. I'm really not. There's a lot of people out there that give people good cars and they make good money doing it. I just don't think it's something I could do because I don't have the gift of gab like that. And
well, I think it's time, bro, that we step into the 21st century when it comes to buying cars. Why do we still have that mindset that the price that's on this windshield right here is the price, but we can talk about it. It shouldn't be like that. Why do we still have to do that?
I don't know. Or why don't they just add in all the fees? And I know why they don't, because the window price looks better. You know what I mean? You feel
Yeah,
better paying 20,000 than you do 30 after you add interest and all that. But it's
yeah.
like, man, just be straight with me. Like when I went in there, I told them what my payment was and how many months I was willing to pay on this, and then we kind of negotiated from there. But you still just it feels weird, man. I don't know if it's like a generational thing, uh, or what, but instead, here's geometry.
Well, hold up now, pal. You haven't used geometry since you got out of 10th grade math?
Mm, I think I may use it a little bit more than anyone else just because of my job, but hey, I always preferred geometry, if I'm being honest. I need to see it. Like I need if I
You
can.
know the Do you know the slope formula?
Mm, I do not. I guarantee you though, if I called my wife in here, she could probably tell you.
I think it's Y equals MX plus B, something like that. I don't know.
I think that's right. That sounds familiar.
I don't think that's geometry though, but we're gonna keep on rocking with
Hey, you sold me on it. But speaking of selling people on things, we've got some news coming out of AEW and somewhat WWE. Very, very interesting situation here. So a couple what was it, 1 or 2 weeks ago,
I think it was two.
Andrade, yeah. So 2 weeks ago, Andrade gets released or fired from WWE. It pretty much within the same week shows up on Dynamite. So I've got an article here, Ryan, for you from Cage
Yeah, go
Side
ahead.
Seats. This is from Kane A. Knight, which says Andrade might be gone from AEW for 1 year due to WWE's new non-compete clauses. So let's read a little further. Earlier today, there was a story from the Wrestling Observer about WWE sending a letter telling the promotion that they cannot use Andrade on its TV shows related to a non-compete clause in his WWE contract. This was a surprise given reports that Andrade was fired by WWE, according to Wrestling Observer, after violating their wellness policy. So then PW Insider followed up with more details later in the day. A source told them that WWE doesn't want to have a situation where a wrestler can get intentionally fired by violating policies and then go to a competitor the very next day. And that's why they're trying to enforce this non-compete without pay period for Andrade. After he appeared on Dynamite and worked dates in Mexico, he was contacted by WWE to clarify the terms of his release, and that's why he has not appeared on AEW programming since then.
Not
And
only that, but they haven't used his name at
oh
all
yeah,
since then.
no. And he came in feuding with Omega, so like that was going to be a big deal.
He knocked out Omega, bro. And that was it.
And on top of that, Ryan, F4W Online's Brian Alvarez is now
Oh,
saying that the new standard for WWE and TKO contracts is to include a 1 year non-compete period if a talent is fired for cause.
do you
So,
see a problem with that?
so as a fan, I think it sucks. I think if I'm putting on a Corpo Shill hat, then I get it, because they don't want to be screwed either. You know what I mean? And that's what that comes down to. But I think a year is a little egregious. I think the 3-month thing is probably what the standard should be. Now, do I wish for it to be like the 90s where guys can just jump ship and go right into the other program because it's cool? Yeah. But like from a corporate mindset, I can somewhat understand their point of view, but I think that a year is kind of ridiculous, especially if it's unpaid.
But if it's being fired with cause, I don't see a problem with them holding out on letting them wrestle anywhere they want for up to a year. I mean, you be opening Pandora's box, Micah, if you just All right. So if you violate this contract, get fired, and then you can walk into any company you want to the next day. I just don't. I don't know. I don't have a problem with that. Now I would have a problem with it if it was, part of the spring cleanings. They call people, telling them there's budget cuts and wish them their best in their future endeavors, and then you can't work anywhere for a year. I would have a problem with that. But getting fired with cause, and we don't know what it was. This could have been something really bad. Rumors were out there. Now we not there, so we can't confirm them. But it was supposedly a wellness policy violation, drugs. I mean, maybe he has a problem. Maybe they try to make him go to rehab. He refused. We don't know. So we don't know what the terms of his contract, what he did to violate it. It's a very interesting situation.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen anything like it that I can really remember. And see, I'm of the belief that like if WWE releases you, you should be able to go on to AEW like the next week. Like the little 90-day compete clause, I've always thought that's stupid in that sense. But if you get fired, then like, yeah, I can understand 3 months. I just think a year is so long, especially in a business like that where it's like a lot of guys don't get but maybe 10 to 15 years in major companies. And then you're going to waste one of those sitting on the shelf. Because like imagine if when they fired Punk for cause in AEW, if he just wasn't able to wrestle for a year.
You could be a good soldier, just bit your tongue and just follow protocol until your contract was up. You didn't have to go and violate the wellness policy.
Well, what about Mr.
Supposedly
Punk?
it was a multiple time thing that he violated the wellness policy.
Well, and a lot of people pointed the finger at steroids, but I think if you look around,
Yeah,
I'm not accusing Andrade of doing anything. It's
he's
just
jacked.
kind of like if Andrade got flagged for it, there's a lot of other guys there too that, why are they not getting flagged for it?
Yeah, I was looking at AJ Styles when he came back a couple years ago, or Randy.
Yeah.
But
Randy, oh God.
but Micah, so if you're Tony Khan, put your Tony Khan hat on real quick. Do you fight this in court? Do you just hand Andrade your lawyers and maybe something positive comes out of this whole thing? What do you do? Just
I
wash
think
your
you
hands of the whole
definitely
situation?
I don't know, I think you may just wash your hands of the whole situation because it feels like one of those things that if you take it to court, it will go
Be
on
wrong with
for
him a year.
longer than a year. And
Yeah.
at most, you could probably get WWE to like back pay you whatever you were going to make. But at the same time, I mean, I just don't feel like you're getting much further ahead with it. So, but my
What?
other question is like, how was this allowed to happen?
I don't know. You figure they get flagged by the legal team. Like if you're the AEW legal team and Andrade gives you a call saying that he's ready to go, ready to wrestle, don't you get them to fax? Don't you get Andrade to fax him your contract? Like, didn't that used to be the protocol back in like the '90s during the Monday Night Wars?
I mean, you would assume.
I've listened to quite a bit of Bruce Pritchard podcast. Bruce Pritchard, something to wrestle with. Shout out them. Check out their first 100 episodes. Great stuff. But he would always talk about if a WCW wrestler called him and asked about a job, he would always ask them to fax over their contract before they can say anything, before they can speak about any contract related things. Fax them your contract. Is that
I
not
mean,
the
that would make
protocol in
sense.
AEW?
And I feel like if WWE gives you, I don't know, but I feel like if WWE gives you a non-compete clause, they probably have to send you some documentation saying that. It's not just like oh, hey, pal, yeah, you can't wrestle for 3 months. Like, I'm sure they have to have some like actual documentation.
Yeah,
So did
you would
Andrade
think.
just not include that or?
Well, is maybe a language barrier here? I don't know. I don't want to be that guy. But did they give him a contract that's all in English, Micah?
I'm
I don't
sure,
want to
or
be
he
that
has to have
guy.
like a lawyer or somebody. You know what I mean?
Beast
Like,
Morton.
especially, I don't know how much he knows. David Otunga.
Hey now, I take Otunga.
Yeah, I'll take him too. That entrance song is all I need to know. I believe
Oh
him.
man,
Can we
can you
play
imagine
that in
entering
court?
court? Yeah, I'm about to say,
Yeah.
can you imagine going to court with that interesting? You win your case right then and
Oh,
there.
it's a WWE 12 banger.
Hey man, that plays so much. I ain't get tired of it. Good
I
song.
didn't either. And it's crazy because Otunga was such a mid wrestler, but the
I
theme
thought,
song is what you remember.
man, I remember when he first debuted in NXT. I thought he was gonna be the next breakout guy.
Well, he had all the look. Like he was built, he had that like charismatic kind of
Yeah,
like smile about him, you know what I mean? He just looked like there's a actor I'm trying to like relate him to, but I can't think of who it is. Um and then, you know, he has to pick up a mic and then it all went.
I got fooled though, bro. Because you remember those like vignettes they had before the first match of each NXT guy on that first season. They would have like a little vignette where they would explain who they were. I remember he was talking like, oh, built like Batista and got charisma of The Rock. And I was like, man, if he has that, he's gonna be the next biggest thing out there, WWE champ within the next year. And I held on for a long time. I held my stock, but right around when he started carrying around that coffee mug, and he was the what was he? What was he to John Laurinaitis?
Oh God, I don't even remember
You remember
now.
that? You remember that run he had in 2012 when he carried around the coffee mug?
Yeah, I mean he looked good.
He did, yeah.
And then they try to make him an announcer too.
Now hold up, now. I ain't gonna let you slander Otunga's name as an announcer.
No, he wasn't bad. I was just saying.
He was SmackDown 2016, SmackDown Live. He was one of the voices of SmackDown Live during that time. Him, JBL, and Ronaldo, man. Great commentary trio.
I've always been a fan of JBL's commentary. People hate, but you
But he
can't tell me
bullied.
when he screams Michael that you don't get a little nostalgic.
I like JBL. He bullied Morrow out the company, but other than that, I like JBL.
Who else did he? I mean, who did he not almost bully out of the company? If we're being completely honest here,
But Joey Styles knocked him out with that one time. I don't know if you heard that story.
Joey Styles knocked him out.
He knocked him out. Yeah, they were over there on tribute to the troops, and I think JBL was drunk or something. Mouthed off to Joey Styles, and Joey Styles knocked him out.
That's gotta hurt your ego, man. He's a solid foot taller than Joey Styles. Are there witnesses to this act?
Yeah. They tell the story. I forget where I heard the story from, but yeah, it went double platinum in the dirt sheets when it happened.
Hmm. Well, speaking of knockout blows, we've got some wrestling to talk about. So this weekend from St. Louis, Missouri, AEW WrestleDream. And we're going to start it abruptly as they started abrupt here with Jet Speed versus FTR. Now, if I'm being completely honest here, I didn't watch the start of the match. Therefore, I did not watch the rest of the match. However, I thought it was a cool way to start the show off, and it did kind of remind me of like the old Nitros. I know it was a real big bone of contention for a lot of people, but I mean, I thought it was something different that they could do to make it a little more interesting, which I'll always support that rather than just the same homogenized, pasteurized formula.
Uh, yeah, maybe it would have been a little better if I was interested in the match, but I purposely went out of my way to skip the pre-show so I didn't have to watch this match. And then I feel tricked and deceived that I had to watch this match, Micah. And you know what? Hindsight being 2020, I bet they wish they didn't start with this match because they would have had more time for the main event, and we didn't have to abruptly end the main event like they did.
Did they really run low on time?
Oh yeah, definitely. You didn't hear about that? The
Mm.
broadcast for, I believe it was Amazon Prime, because the Prime runs their pay-per-views. Well, the feed cut off, and so they had to speed run through the main event, bro. That's why the ending was so flat. They just speed ran it.
That makes a lot more sense because I was getting there. But now that you mention that, I do remember like Darby being on the top rope and then it just blacked out. Like he was celebrating.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
That's what happens when your pay-per-views are 5.5 hours.
What? No. Well, anyways, that brings us to the first match of the night that we were there for, which was Jamie Hayter versus Tekla. Which I thought the Drewski meme.
Speaking French now, pal?
I thought this was a good opener. There was nothing crazy here. And it was a solid in the rope or in between the ropes contest, which as far as that goes, well, okay, this is going to be a theme. No, this is going to be a theme throughout the show because I saw a tweet that Sean Ross Sapp tweeted because apparently they weren't allowed to do blood on this show.
Yeah.
Because of the Missouri State Athletic Commission. And Sean Ross Sapp tweeted, "We need to get athletic commissions out of wrestling." And I thought to myself, I actually kind of enjoyed some of the matches on this show a little more than I normally do because they couldn't rely on just gushing blood and objects. They actually had to wrestle in between the ropes. So for that, I thought this match was pretty good. The fans were into it as well, I think more than any of the other women's contests throughout the night. And I also have to applaud them for managing to get a women's feud on pay-per-view that I didn't feel like was shoehorned into being on the card.
You think Lutez's widow in the front row?
I did see that, which a lot of people were questioning, and then I questioned too because I was like, "Hold on now, what's this age gap?"
I had to Google it myself.
It was what, like 20 years, something like that?
It was about 30, 30 years.
Golly. Apparently she pursued him, though.
Oh, well.
So they say.
Yeah. I don't know what was going on in 1960s, but we'll just leave it there.
It's one of those things that doesn't age well, because, like, your grandparents will have gotten together at, like, 15 and been, like, married. And it's like,
Granddad,
that wasn't weird then.
Granddad 25 and grandma like 15. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Nobody bats an eye.
Oh, no. But did you also see that story about Tony Khan when he was 12 years old? He was pen pal with Luthez.
No, I didn't hear that.
Doesn't that strike you as weird that a 12-year-old boy's writing Luthez? Am I just being... Have I watched too much To Catch a Predator?
I think you're Chris Hansen showing a little bit. He's just a fan.
I don't know. What is a 12-year-old Tony Khan talking to Luthez about?
Well, what if you were pen pals with The Rock when you were 12? You would have thought that was the coolest thing in the world, right?
That's the most electrifying man in sports entertainment.
oh, that's different.
Well, Luthez had to be like 60 years old at that point, Micah.
Okay, so...
Well, we know age ain't nothing but a number with Luthez. I don't know.
Okay, what if you were... Dadgummit, I can't think of anybody.
I'm not talking to a 12-year-old.
No.
Put me in that situation.
I'm not putting you on the other end of it. You're the 12-year-old in this scenario, and you're pen pals with Ric Flair. Is that weird?
I would hope my parents step in if that's the case.
Yeah, now, if you were a female, that would be a little questionable.
Well, I don't know what Rick's doing.
Well, if you were a 12-year-old girl and you were pen pals with Jerry Lawler, would that be weird?
Well, we can ask AJ Lee about that, but look, man, regardless, I don't know. It just something weird about that.
I don't know. It's just kind of. It doesn't bother me, I guess, because of the.
Luthez was turned over in his grave watching this show.
Well, we'll get to the main event. Did you have anything for Jamie Hayter versus Thekla?
No, not at all. It was a little sloppy at times. The right winner. The right winner happened. I think Jamie Hayter won, didn't she?
Yeah.
Knocked her out with the clothesline. Just makes me wonder, man. Where would Jamie Hayter be if there was no Mercedes Moné? You know,
Yeah.
where would she be on the card?
Or if she dropped the 70s gimmick.
Hmm. Yeah.
Or should I say that 70s gimmick?
Yes, there you go. There you go. She likes to look, man. So who are we to say?
I mean, it appeals to a certain audience. I just think that she had, like, I don't know how to describe it. I guess it would be like if Sting returned with like white hair. Like, it's just not what you're used to.
Oh, you got your wish there, pal, in the main event.
Anyways, I think people were just expecting the old Jamie Hayter, and so when she came back, I think somehow she looks a little less. She looks a little more nondescript now than she did then. But she's still good in the ring.
Do you know the reasoning for this match?
Well, they've been having a feud back and forth for a while.
But you remember Thekla, she debuted and attacked Jamie Hayter. Do you know the reason she gave? Why she attacked Jamie Hayter? The reason she gave, Micah, is Jamie Hayter was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's why they're feuding. That was the reason they gave.
You know what? Sometimes it be like that.
Okay, all right. Wrong place, wrong time. During my debut, while you're having an in-ring interview.
Yeah, I can't really excuse that. But I mean, hey, they've made it long running and managed to pay it off on the pay-per-view without a belt. So for that, I'll give them some praise. Now we move on to probably things I won't praise. Next up, we had a tag match between the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express.
Oh boy. You know,
there's so much to unpack.
It is. It's a lot. I don't know. I saw this online, Micah. I wanted to ask you, but a lot of people are praising the old Buckaroos, and I know we haven't been their biggest fans of the last couple of years. But I'm interested to see what you think. Where do you think the Young Bucks rank all time when it comes to all time great tag teams?
Oh God, no! I'm not having this conversation.
I'm just asking.
They're not top 10. I can tell you that much because everybody puts them in the top 10, and it makes no sense.
Well, I don't know about everybody, but they're very influential. Wouldn't you agree to that?
Influential only goes so far.
Yeah. I don't know if they were a good influence, but you can't deny that part of their style and their appeal is what launched AEW into being a thing. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, sure, but are we judging most influential wrestlers, or are we judging best tag team, bell to bell?
Well, we got to account for everything.
I'm not putting them top 10. I might could talk to you in top 20. That still hurts my soul a little bit, but I could have the conversation.
It's a very divisive conversation to have online because you either love them or you hate them.
Well, I can name. Okay, first off, I'm not even saying that these teams are like this is the order of them, but I can tell you right now that these teams are better than the Young Bucks. Edge and Christian, Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, Road Warriors, Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express, Hart Foundation, Steiner Brothers, and let's go Tully and Arn. That's 9 right there. I mean, I'm probably missing 1 or 2, if we're being completely honest.
You're missing quite a few there, pal. New Day, the Usos. And a lot of them, man. Hollywood Blondes in the early 90s, they were good.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just if you like the moves and the fast paced, finisher, super kick. If you like the moves, you love the Young Bucks. And you like the fast choreography, you like the Young Bucks, but I feel like they just don't tell, or maybe they tell the same story over and over in their matches. That's where the disconnect is for me.
I just don't think they tell a story in their matches unless it's something to do with like a shoe or some
Friendship.
callback to some indie show where they were used to be friends. But like outside of that, there's no like underlying story of like this is, and people, oh well, what about Hangman and Kenny Omega? And well, that's the problem. They're only able to tell stories with those guys. But you put them in there with FTR and they have a tag match. You put them in there with the Hurt Syndicate, it's going to be like they can only work with their guys. And that's matter of fact, it's really funny that you bring this up because I wrote this. I refuse to see it with these guys. We rarely review them ever. And every time that we do, I am then reminded why we don't. There is no sense of struggle. Rick Knox, at one point in this match, and he's always the referee, so this becomes a knock on them too, literally started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stopped counting because they were still in the ring doing moves. And instead of disqualifying them, he just doesn't care. So like, why even start counting if you're just not going to do anything? And you know what? If they want to do all this and they want to do the moves, whatever, let them. Just make it a tornado tag team match. Like that would be so much simpler than just ignoring all the rules of tag team wrestling and mostly wrestling in general. And we're going to get to the rules a little later of wrestling. But what aggravates me is people just go, well, why do you care so much about the rules? This is what I've been told is the way to do this, like literally my entire fandom. And so now when you just abandon that because it looks cool, what's the point in having the rules at all? Y'all just go out there and do cool flips and go home.
Yeah, we're supposed to tell a story here, not just to hit consecutive moves in a row.
Yeah. And like you said, it's you either love them or hate them, but it aggravates me because everybody online treats them like wrestling royalty, and they're not even top 10 all-time tag teams. I'm sorry.
I don't think they're top 10 in the last 25 years. And the last 25 years this is the worst. This is the worst time frame to be a tag team. And I don't even think they would crack my top 10.
I'd have to take a look because you discredit, or at that point you're counting out like Tully and Arn and the Steiners.
I'm just at the new millennium. I could name so many more tag teams that I would want to watch a match over the Young Bucks. It just feels like they have the same match over and over again.
Yeah,
and
it's always with their guys,
and they never have like a serious feud. You always have to have a ha-ha element in all of their feuds. Even in this feud, bro, like their whole premise of all their matches now are $400,000 matches. Have you noticed that? Like all their matches are dollar amounts involved. Yeah, I understand. Every wrestler wants to get paid. But when you put the dollar amount in the matches, it loses its appeal real fast, especially when it's every Young Bucks match.
Well, I wrote at the start of this that I actually have enjoyed this broke Bucks story more than I think anything they've ever done, because they're telling me to not take them serious. And at that point, that's fine. If we relegate this to sideshow, funny, haha, not the main stage, then whatever, I can for the most part look past it. Like it's on the level of like the funny that American Alpha Academy. That kind of, you're telling me not to take them serious. But nobody says Alpha Academy is the greatest tag team of the last 20 years. But that's what people online say. And then you look at what they're doing, and they're doing Alpha Academy level humor.
Yeah, bro, it's not even funny. But people online will gaslight you and say this is the greatest gimmick in the world. Groundbreaking television, the broke Bucks. Even though Baron Corbin did this same gimmick better 4 years ago.
Cameron Grimes did a similar gimmick.
Well, he was rich.
Did it better.
Well, Baron Corbin was broke. Remember broke Corbin?
Oh, I do. It was his best work. I didn't love
Yeah,
it
it was.
either, though.
It was his best work.
But like,
yeah, man,
again, if you're gonna be a comedy, which is what the Bucks are, like, I don't care what anybody says, you never can take them serious because they have to throw in a joke. So why are you telling me to take this comedy character and say, oh, he's the greatest wrestler of all time, and then say, oh, well, Otis sucks?
Well, you have to factor in BTE, you fat shill. You don't watch Being the Elite?
How about you tell a good story on the TV show that you're getting paid for and not make me have to research your YouTube channel to get your feud?
Your unfunny YouTube channel at that.
It's
people
millennial
actually laugh at
humor
that.
for the
I don't
same.
think people actually laugh at that, huh?
I guess it's the same people that find Tony Storm funny.
Yeah, okay. It's their audience.
Yeah.
The basement, as we like to call it.
Well, outside of all this, as far as the match goes, you know, I do find what's actually funny in this whole thing is the fact that Jungle Boy is exactly where he was 3 years ago, wrestling the same exact people he was 3 years ago. And we've all now come to the realization that this Jungle Boy experiment's over. And the only way that this guy will ever be a star is if he's stuck in the Bucks verse, which is the same way that the Bucks are only stars because they operate in their own universe.
Well, you know what? I would disagree there. I think if he just became Luchasaurus's manager, I think he'd be big time over if he just did that.
Well, then just bring back Marco Stunt.
If you gave him a beard, I don't think I would be able to tell them apart.
Give him some lifts.
They about the same height there.
Yeah. I saw he's selling cars now, so I hope he's doing well. I did not run into him. I would have taken a picture with him though. Okay. But honestly,
you had to squat down. Take a knee. Take a knee. Take a picture with him.
Victory formation. I thought about halfway through the match that honestly it was kind of tame for them, and it was an okay tag match. And then the moment that like the crack in the foundation just became this gaping hole was one Buck got choke slammed by Luchasaurus and backflipped on the choke slam to then land on top of his brother. And then after that, just literally, without a better term, just chaos. Like it just, nothing matters after that. Once they start running in and they stop tagging, it's over. The rules do not matter.
Yeah. Of course. The Young Bucks match. That's the template to the Young Bucks match, Mike.
I just don't. I don't know. I don't get it. And
They hit
if this
some
was the
moves,
last
Mike. You
match,
didn't like the moves?
yeah, that's what we're here for, pal.
They hit a bunch of. You see the super kick?
I did see the super kick. Did you see the BTE trigger?
Well, of course. Put the
What
finger
about the
guns in the
Meltzer
air.
driver?
Like my favorite move, Micah. Favorite tag move. I love moves.
I just imagine
Ain't
every
you giving
Young
the
Bucks fan like that guy that had those kids in the basement.
oh? He makes them watch Dynamite every Wednesday too.
Say this
Ever
is
see
the
the-
greatest tag team of all time.
You ever see that
Yes.
Jeffrey Dahmer? What was that miniseries on Netflix?
Oh, with wow, what's that guy's name? The actor. He plays Quicksilver in the X-Men movies.
There you go. Yeah. Well, he made his victims watch. I think it was The Omen. I think it was something like that. And I always get like there's always like a still frame going around on social media of just the guy on Dahmer making his victim watch the
Oh
show.
yeah,
It's
because
like,
he's got like his hands over their eyes, like holding them
yeah.
open or whatever. Yeah. You're gonna watch this Young Bucks match and you're gonna like it.
It's Wednesday. You know what time it is.
You know what that means. Just pinching your eyeballs open. That's a good one. How did we get to Jeffrey Dahmer from a Young Bucks match? Anyways, next up we had a trios match. The Hurt
Oh,
Syndicate.
hey, hold up now, pal. Who won the match?
Jurassic Express.
There you go. And then at the end of the match, Micah, you didn't see it. See, this is what happens when
No,
you watch your pay-per-views and you don't watch that. You don't watch the Afterbird.
I
Kenny
do
Omega
think I
came
saw it. Okay. Yeah, but
Yeah.
nothing happened.
What do you mean nothing happened? The Young Bucks looked at Kenny Omega. They stared at him, Mike. What are you talking about?
I forget that's how they tell stories. They just
Yeah.
stare.
And then Kenny Omega came out to save Jungle Jack Perry, the same guy that punched him in the gut and had a birthday cake where he poured pig guts all over the birthday cake. Said this is Omega's future. You don't remember that? And now Omega can forgive Jungle Jack Perry. And now we're building up to the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and the will they, won't they storyline of will they get back together for the fourth time. You not excited about that, pal?
Yet people want to hate on the bloodline for potentially getting back together.
That's great storyline, Mike.
Can you imagine where Kenny Omega may be in the wrestling pantheon if he had never become friends with the Young Bucks and was never held back by them?
He would have been known for the blow up doll incident. That's why I knew him from for a very long time.
See, I had never even heard of that until I got back into it, but I vaguely knew who Kenny was. But like every time these goofs on the internet like romanticize about the Elite and they may get back together. Every time Omega is away from the Young Bucks, it is substantially better.
I don't think he can afford to do that anymore. The way he's looking nowadays, he needs the Young Bucks to take most of his bumps now.
Well, show makes me want to take a bump.
Oh God, hanging with Tony Khan?
That's what I was about to say. Tony, get over here. Anyways, trios tag match. Hurt Syndicate versus The Demand, which we saw this at the last pay-per-view. We ran it back this time with MVP involved and gimmicks. And I know you're not the biggest Ricochet fan, but I was actually kind of looking forward to this match in terms of the rest of the card.
He's a loser.
Who's a loser?
Ricochet, he's a loser. He loses everything. How are we supposed to take Ricochet serious if he loses everything? And what was the point? Look, I know these your boys, Micah, and they follow you on Twitter, one of them. But what is the point of having the Gates of Agony join Ricochet if they were just gonna be job guys like this? Was the whole point of them joining together just to take jobs at the Earth Syndicate?
Well, they got a win last month.
Well, who remembers that?
Me,
You're the only one.
the sickos.
Do you? What if we don't know anything about the Gates of Agony? What have they done on TV to make us care about the Gates of Agony? Have they given these guys
beating
an in-ring
the Hurt
promo?
Syndicate? I think that's it.
Have they given them an in-ring promo on Collision
No, I think
somewhere?
they defer to Ricochet for that one.
Oh man, let Ricochet cut your promos, huh?
Don't hurt yourself, dog.
I didn't come here to talk. Well, then shut up then.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I know a lot of people hate Ricochet. For some reason, the rest of the stuff bothers me, but I do like Ricochet.
Really?
I do. I enjoy him for the most part.
In ring, or are you talking about outside the ring?
I think both. Whenever he's not in there with somebody who wants to do the bullcrap with him. Maybe it's because I really liked Prince Puma.
So you like the outside the ring stuff too, huh?
I think he's doing better than he has in a long time. Or ever.
You follow him on Twitter?
Well, he's not like a... Oh, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about promos.
Gotta stay on his Twitter. His Twitter footprint too, Mike. Come on now.
Well, I can't speak to that. I don't know what he tweets about. But I will say, I think his character has grown. That's interesting. Okay, here we go.
That's interesting.
Here we go. A tweet from Light Skin Kingpin at King Ricochet. She's got 1 year left before I decide where she can work, or I might decide that she has to stay home again. Either way, it's my decision where she goes, not hers.
Talking about Samantha Urban there.
You don't support the trad wife lifestyle, Ryan?
I don't, man. If this came out of Randy Orton's Twitter account, how would the reaction be?
Well, I think it's different if it's a lady in the business.
Oh, it's different then. Okay, CM Punk makes his tweet. What are we doing then?
Well, is he a heel?
He's CM Punk, so he's always a heel to that segment of the audience, no matter what he does.
Well, I think that segment would pitchforks and everything, but this segment...
Where's the pitchforks for Rico there?
Well, you see, he actually wrestles the style of wrestling that they like.
Oh, he does the flips.
He does do the flips. But getting back to the match, I do like Ricochet. I like the Gates of Agony, and I like all people involved.
Okay. Micah loves everybody.
No, I went on a tirade about the Bucks like 10 minutes ago.
All right, go ahead.
I thought that they were aware of the size difference between Ricochet and the Hurts. So typically, like, Ricochet would do a couple moves, and then one of the Gates of Agony would come in to have to get Bobby off his feet. I thought the German suplex that Shelton hit on Ricochet, where he Germaned him to the outside, was freaking insane, and it's a travesty that Shelton Benjamin has never been a world champion. Even with like a manager or something, I feel like it could have worked. But I also was reminded that these guys aren't the tag champions. And that made me sad, because how are these guys not the tag champions? And then at the end, I liked the finish. I liked Bishop Khan taking the bullet for Ricochet. However, I don't think it would have hurt Ricochet to take the pin. here just because they did get their win last week, and they've kind of been telling this story here, and they have built the Hurt Syndicate up to where they look like a unit. But if they are protecting the leader, which I think that was the goal here, I did kind of like the finish.
I'm glad you liked
Thoughts?
it. I thought
Source?
Shelton doing that tope was pretty cool at 50 years old. You see that?
I did. I thought
Okay.
you didn't enjoy this match.
I thought it was a collision match. Wouldn't have been out of place on collision. Bro, I just can't take the Gates of Agony serious.
What's wrong
They're
with the Gates of Agony?
They are an undercard tag team. They never get wins on television. They never get in-ring promos. Why should we take the Gates of Agony serious?
They're heaters to Ricochet, and they beat the Hurt
They ain't
Syndicate
heating
on
up nothing.
pay-per-view.
You know they're not heating up nothing.
Whatever. Agree to disagree. I like the guys. I thought the match was pretty solid. We move on. For the TNT Championship, Mark Briscoe versus Kyle Fletcher.
This went on forever.
It was very long, and somehow in all of that, I don't have a whole lot to say about it. It was a good match, bell to bell, but there just wasn't like a major takeaway where like either something was egregious or something was just, wow, I've never seen that before. And I'm not saying that every match has to be something you've never seen before, but if it's going to go 27 minutes, yeah, I think it needs to have at least something. Lots of near falls. I bet on a few.
Did you?
I did. I thought that they may pull the trigger with Mark because they've actually made a pretty like concerted effort to push him, despite the push that they're giving Kyle. I thought that maybe there was a chance, and then Kyle hit the or no, was it Mark? They hit the nut shot and then the brain buster. I think that was Kyle Fletcher.
That was Kyle. And of course, he kicked out of that.
He did. I thought that was going to be the finish.
Of course he kicked out of that. It should have been the finish. Why would they do that if they were just going to do the finish a couple minutes later?
Most of the time, I agree with you, but I felt like the crowd stayed through it this time. Most of the time, they die.
Remember a nut shot was a match ender?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody
nut
wear
shot,
cups
roll
now?
up.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3.
Everybody just wear cups. Where's that fighting spirit, Micah?
See how much Let me kick you in the balls and see how much fighting spirit you have left.
Is it in Tokyo Dome?
Oh, well, you got me there. No, I have had my fair share of getting hit in the nuts, and I assure you that I will not be getting up for a good 5 minutes.
I didn't know you were still going there. Okay.
Well, I mean, we're both men here.
I thought the finish was pretty cool. It just went on forever. But the brain buster on the turnbuckle was pretty cool.
Yeah. Mark sold it like $1 million too.
He did. He flew halfway across the ring. I just didn't feel like we needed to have a 25-minute back and forth with these guys. And
well, at the end of this, I would like to run over the match links.
with like a truck.
Oh, I was going to say you could run me over after watching this too, but
let's run them all over.
But yeah, Kyle Fletcher retains, still your TNT champion. And see, there's this weird thing with AEW pay-per-views. It's like the first couple matches, I have a lot to say, and there's a lot to, go through. And then there's like 4 matches of just like, yep, this happened. Yep, this happened. Yep, this happened. And then the main event. Or it's like the match before and then the main event.
And it seems like every match, everybody has to hit every move they know.
Well,
and every move gets kicked out of.
And every match has a minimum of 15 minutes.
Do you, now that we're past the tables and tax match that happened last month with Briscoe and MJF, do you feel like Mark is elevated after all this?
I think so.
He still feels like he's in the same spot.
Are you talking about specifically from the MJF feud?
Well, yeah, you said that elevated him. You said that last week, Micah, so I took your word for it. I haven't felt any different. He feels like the same undercard guy that you beat, and the crowd gets behind him, but he never wins anything meaningful.
Well, I think that's just a failure of the booking, but I still think that like he's a mainstay on Dynamite.
Oh, yeah, and to take pins, they got Ricochet for that, and he Mark too.
You never miss a moment to diss Ricochet.
Well, I'm just saying, Micah. If the shoe fits, I just don't think he's been elevated. You said he was, and I just feel like he's still a loser on the show. No disrespect to Mark.
I don't know. I think he is a mainstay on Dynamite, and that's certainly an improvement from where he was, say, a year ago. So for that reason, I kind of feel like he's at least better off now than he was.
Okay. Now he's taking pins to the TNT Championship instead of taking
it's
pins
better than
to
the Ring of Honor television champion, isn't it?
not by much.
Anyways, for the Women's World Championship, we've got Chris Statlander versus Tony Storm. And once again, this is one of those, I was kind of here when it happened. I mean, I thought it was a good match. Nothing egregious happened. And just like most matches here on or in AEW, I thought it went a touch too long, especially with the way that this one ended with like the long chokehold with Statlander and Tony. I think Statlander had Tony in was it a sleeper hold?
I think it was a head scissors.
Or head scissors, something like that. It felt like it went on for a long time.
They
but
were trying to go for symbolism there, Micah. Did not get the symbolism.
I did not get the symbolism.
Well, in the end, Tony Storm passed out in between Chris Statlander's thighs, just like she always wanted.
Is that actually what they were going for?
Yeah, that is exactly what. No, that is exactly what they were going for. This whole feud was that. You're not watching Collision, Micah?
Oh, come on! Don't kid yourself.
Okay, I'm sorry. But yeah,
I mean, I saw the one where they were like laying on the mat beside each other, cutting the promo.
Oh yeah, it's real graps, pal. Having pillow talk in the middle of the ring. You didn't like that?
But she didn't. Well, let me hold on. I mean, not use that terminology. She didn't beat her with the head scissors because she ended up picking her up and doing a move to beat her.
Well, she was already passed out, Micah.
Oh, okay. So it was still accomplished.
Yeah, they got accomplished, I think. It was finished. They finished.
Yeah, it was a good match. It wasn't just like the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And see, here's the problem. You're making all these sexual innuendos. But what has led you to make these sexual innuendos?
I mean, I watched the show. That's what happened.
Exactly.
On the show,
it's Tony Storm. She asked for it.
That's her whole gimmick.
So does that not feel weird to people in like I don't know. I know some people that this is one of those like flat circle type things where it's like you get so into one thing that you end up being okay with this. Whereas like they think that Tony Storm is so progressive because she is like overly sexual, but like with lesbian stuff. But then you just get to the point where like you can't take her serious without the sexual stuff. So as a man, you end up like she's almost asking you to like sexualize the character. And it's like, why? I just want you to be like a good women's wrestler. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, I remember
it's uncomfortable to watch.
I'm old enough to remember the problems that the original Goldust character had on like the IWC and just fans in general, bro. I don't. If you go back and watch a Raw from '95 or '96, man, you'll get a whole crowd's worth of people chanting the F slur at Goldust. Like people were very uncomfortable with that.
I think Jerry Lawler even said it on one of the promos.
Yeah.
And then they had the same sign for Sean. Sean is a
and I've listened to podcasts, bro. They had to tone down Goldust's hypersexuality in those early days. That's one of the reasons they brought in Marlena, to tone down all the overt, uncomfortable,
the homosexual rigmarole.
Yeah. And not there's anything wrong with that, but I just don't see how this is okay, but that wasn't okay.
Well, I think again it goes to the two different audience thing. Like, it's the audience of today sees a gimmick like Tony Storm and Goldust as progressive, and while they're not completely wrong, you kind of shoehorn yourself when your entire gimmick is sex, especially as a woman. I mean, is that like wrong for me to say, or do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I feel like women in wrestling have fought so hard to break themselves away from sexualization, and it just feels like Tony has leaned full off in it, but not in the way that like a Harley Cameron does, but in somehow an even more vulgar way.
And if you see somebody online romanticizing the bra and panties matches, usually they get chastised. They get bombarded with hate messages. But then you look on Wednesday nights and Tony Storm's literally stripping in the middle of the ring and people are cheering it on. Like, I don't know, man. This is maybe I'm not in the basement. Maybe I need to go down to the basement, see what's happening down there. I'm just it's not for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of over the gimmick, and I've been a fan of Tony Storm. I thought she was a very good hire for them. Her first women's championship run, I thought, was pretty good. She was having good matches, but I feel like the match quality dipped once she became this gimmick, and what it originally started as was like this fallen movie star, and it's now just turned into, like you said months ago, female Joel Gertner.
Joel Gertner, Goldust.
Yeah, and again, it literally feels like anti-progressive. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. Like, there's nothing wrong with leaning in. At least I don't think, and this applies for men or women. I don't think there's anything wrong with leaning into your sex appeal, but that can't be the only thing that you have.
And especially when you're advertising to bring the whole family to see this show, and then you got your main star doing stuff like that. I don't know, man. It's a little weird. I wouldn't want to take my daughter to see something like that.
Well, not only that, but it kind of goes back to which, like, I know Ibu came on the pod and he made the point of like, well, wouldn't you feel uncomfortable if anybody walked in while you were watching wrestling? Which, there's a lot of uncomfortable parts, but at the same time, like, if I was watching the bra and panties matches and somebody walked in, yeah, I'd feel extremely uncomfortable. If I was watching Tony Storm strip down to her underwear in the middle of the ring, I would also feel equally uncomfortable. Why is one okay and the other's not? They both should be bad. Is that a crazy statement?
She wants to do it, you bitch, you.
That doesn't make it okay. There are people out there that want to do fentanyl. That doesn't excuse the fentanyl.
Hey, put our clips on TikTok now, man. Come on now. F drug.
Yeah. Anyways, match was solid. It's good that Chris Statlander gets an actual like legitimate win over Tony, because I know last pay-per-view I kind of complained because it was in a four-way match. So at least she's got the official pinfall victory, and we'll see where it goes.
Well, the match ended. Chris Statlander won. However, her celebration didn't last long because maybe 30 seconds after Statlander's music was playing, the CEO music hit Micah, and Mercedes Moné came out to interrupt Chris Statlander. And she had did you catch who she was with? Mercedes?
She had the frat house, right?
The frat house, yeah. I don't know what the correlation is between them and or her and the frat house, but apparently they are a thing now. I guess they just carry her titles. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah,
But
I think it
Statlander,
just replaced her Twink Brigade.
oh god. I didn't know Griff Garrison still worked there.
Yeah, he's still getting a check.
It was the second time on the show. He was on the pre-show too.
I mean, I guess, I'd rather see the frat house than a bunch of thin, no-name job guys, but
You remember?
yeah.
You remember what Mercedes did when she got in the ring, Micah?
Well, I remember she made an open challenge, but I don't remember much before that.
Well, Chris Statlander was still in the ring, and Mercedes Moné congratulated Statlander, and then Mercedes told Chris Statlander to get the hell out of her ring. And what does the newly crowned babyface champion do, Micah, in a situation like that? She left. Just walked out.
She complied with the heels demands.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Miss CEO. As you wish. So just neuter your top babyface coming out of her big win. Just go ahead. Just do that. That's what they did.
Well, Ryan, following that, we had Monet versus Mina for the TBS Championship, as well as the Ring of Honor Women's Television Championship.
Oh, the interim women's.
Yeah, the interim women's. Who's the actual women's champion?
They couldn't strip Red Velvet of her title, even though she's gonna be out for 6 months. They had to make an interim TV women's champion.
Oh, good lord!
What television show that Ring of Honor there?
Oh, are you not watching Honor Club?
Is anybody watching Honor Club?
I'm sure there's I bet that guy with the people in the basement was watching Honor Club.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a hit down there in the basement, but
just cue the Jeffrey Dahmer picture.
I don't see the appeal of having an interim champion. If the regular champion is going to be out for 6 months, why not just strip the regular champion?
Yeah, because remember, people complained about that with Punk, and he was only out like 3 months.
Yeah. And now the Ring of Honor Women's Television Champion is so important that we need an interim champion. I don't understand.
I mean, who else is going to carry the belt other than Mercedes?
Well, yeah, I mean, who else to put that brand back on the map? I mean, Chris Jericho couldn't do it. I know Mercedes Moné can.
As far as the match goes, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I used my skip on this one.
Oh, come on.
Come on. I knew Monet was gonna win, and I've seen what both of these ladies can do, and there was nothing that compelled me to watch this match.
That's fair. I'm not
Did
even
you watch it?
No, I didn't know. I caught the finish.
Okay.
Which
Monet
escapes
wins,
me.
LOL.
Oh, yes, she did win, but I'm trying to remember how she won that. Man. I don't know.
Well, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, oh, she hit that terrible looking finisher that she has. What's it called?
The bank statement, is that it?
No, it ain't the bank statement. It's something else. I don't know. You know, when she has the person on her back and the other person is on
Yeah.
there. Yeah. Whatever that movie's called. She hit that and she pinned
Okay.
Nina to become the new interim Ring of Honor's TV champion. Yes.
Well, I'll certainly have to book in that one and go
You remember
watch it.
you remember when Mercedes was supposed to have her big feud with Athena? Remember she was gonna lose all her titles and remember that?
Wait, when did they say that?
That was the scuttlebutt online, Micah. She was gonna lose all her titles and go on a downward spiral after she lost Tony Storm. She's gonna feud with Athena. Remember that?
I do remember that being floated around. Instead, she's picked up about 5 more.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course.
And I don't think it's slowing down anytime soon, especially because she started calling herself Ultimo Monet. Which it would just be better if she called herself Ultimo Monet. I think that rolls off the tongue a little easier.
And what was his name? Excalibur said that she broke the record of most titles held at once, which in their minds it's a thing. But now she holds 11 titles, Micah.
Oh, I thought it was 12.
It may be 12. I don't know. She win another one while we were recording.
She might have. She won the Scoop Slam Championship.
Putting a strap on her?
Nah, we'll reserve that for your favorite up next, Kazuchika Okada, who was teaming with Konosuke Takeshita versus Brodito in a tag team championship match. I got a couple thoughts here. I'm just gonna have to go on a little think piece for a moment.
Oh yeah.
This right here, because here's the thing. I did not watch this show live. I rarely do watch the AEW shows live, especially during college football season. And hey, man, I like wrestling. I only get 2 days on my weekend. I am not spending 5 hours watching a show that I really only wanted to see like 2 matches. So I say all that to say this. Before I watched this pay-per-view, all I heard was, wow, the tag matches on this show were a classic. Well, if you haven't figured by now, I didn't like the Young Bucks match. I thought the Gates of Agony match was pretty solid, if that's the other one that they're talking about. And then we arrive at this. And I like 1.5 of the guys involved. I think Takeshita's excellent, should be a world champion. I'm glad he's IWGP champion. But he's the only one here I care about. I somewhat like Brody King. I think something could be done with him, but I don't care for this tag team. I don't really care for Bandito, and I really don't care for Okada. So already we're operating at a loss here. And then about halfway through the match, this was exactly what I was talking about earlier with the Young Bucks match. If you go back and watch this match, there is a point where Takeshita is the legal man. He tags in. They then do all this tomfoolery with these spots on the outside, and everybody runs in, and they beat each other up. And they eventually get back in the ring about 5 minutes later. And the participants themselves had forgotten who the legal man was. So Okada goes in. So again, at this point, why do I care about the rules of anything? It's the same way when they do that stupid Continental tournament for the greatest tournament wrestler of all time, which doesn't matter. That would be like if I told you that Jalen Hurts was the greatest bowler in the world on an NFL Sunday. It doesn't apply here. It's not a tournament match. It's not bowling. But regardless, They say, well, there's no interference in the Continental Classic. So you're allowing interference the rest of the time. And it's the same way with this bull crap where it's you let this slide in this match. So why should I care about it in any match? Again, I go back to the NFL for reference. If Odell Beckham Jr. makes his cool catch, one-handed grab, but he lands outside or out of bounds, do they count it because it looks cool? Is it just cool because of the moves that they did? No, there's set rules in place for anything ever, especially in sports contests. Well, Ryan, I forgot how many strikes I have. Can I just have one more? Just in case. Can I have one more swing?
I don't think it works like that, no.
Well, Ryan, if it was fourth down, well, I forgot what down it is. Can it be third down?
No. This is it right here, pal. You gotta move the chains. If not, just turn over on downs.
So why with wrestling do we make these excuses? I don't care. I don't care about this stupid excuse that people give because they do the same crap with the Bucks. Well, why are you putting all this on it? Like it's fake. It's fake. Yeah. I know Game of Thrones is fake, but I don't want to see a camera on my screen. I don't want to see F-250 in the background of the Battle of the Bastards. So that's where I'm at. And it's always stuff like this with AEW where the rules just don't matter. And every single time it takes me out. But aside from that, and then I'll let you give your thoughts, Ryan. I thought that the match did pick up and it just displayed everything I already knew. Takeshita is an amazing wrestler and is a bona fide world champion in any company. Okada absolutely sucks. And as somebody that did not watch New Japan, gives me no reason to care about him, to make me want to see him, to make me seek out his matches. And all he has is dropkick. Bandito has a finisher worse than MVP's old finisher. Because
the Playmaker? Come on now. You like Playmaker?
Well, it just looks stupid.
Yeah.
But Bandito's looks dumber because why are you flipping over the guy to then come back and do a German suplex?
The guy has to present his ass to you too. That's I don't know. I don't know about
It's a little suspect.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
going
don't like
for that finish.
I don't like the setup to me.
And again, Brody King is all right. With the right booker, I think he could be good. But it was
He's
move
just
spam
alright.
for 25 minutes.
Yeah, they had a lot of moves. Thought the catch to look good in there.
Yeah. It's about it.
Bandito, he's pretty strong.
Yeah, I mean, he's
I'm struggling.
all right
here.
wrestler. I just have no reason to care about him outside of the moves.
I don't know if he's an all right wrestler. I mean, yeah, he does the lucha style. Pretty cool. Pretty good, I guess. That's what they do. They do a lot of moves over there. You see the Macarena? They did the Macarena.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Why is that Bandito's taunt? A move from the 1960s?
No, the Macarena can't be that
70s?
old. No,
It's
it
gotta
was
be
like a
late
song in the
70s.
2000s.
The Macarena?
Yeah.
Are we sure?
Yeah,
I
the
think it's
Macarena
late.
came out in 1993.
You gonna put that in the 2000s? Come on now.
Well, come on now. Close enough.
No, we're not close enough.
Yeah, it's
It's
like,
early 90s, man.
you're almost 30.
Hey, now, calm down. Why is that his default taunt?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
I
Uh,
don't know where to
Buddy-
go after this, man.
Is Buddy Matthews, is he clear?
I don't know. And that's what I'm saying too. I feel like if
Release him.
Just
let him go.
What is he going to come back and do at this point?
He couldn't win the tag titles with Brody King, but Brody King can win with Bandito. All right then.
I'd rather see Buddy Murphy if I'm being completely honest.
Are we talking about WWE Buddy Murphy, or are we talking about?
Or no,
Buddy
I'm just saying,
Matthews?
Buddy Matthews. Like I would rather
Okay,
see
I'm about
him
to
than
say.
Bandito.
Well, of course, everybody wants to see Buddy Matthews.
Oh no, not everybody. Bandito's top 10 PWI this year, pal.
He's having the best in-ring year of anyone, Micah. I don't know if you knew this, but that's been floating around online.
Dude, Wrestler of the Year. Oh, I don't know what we're going to do.
It's been bastardized, bro.
Yeah, but like, who do we even pick this year? Because like, I know for mid-year, I just don't even like. Because like Page, and we're gonna get to his match in just a minute, and I'll explain. But like, I don't know that I could slot Page in there. But like, you had Gunther, and he hasn't been here.
Yeah, he's been gone since August.
So July. Like, who's the front runner going into October?
I got my eyes set on Punk, especially if he wins the title again.
I think that would have to be it, right?
A lot of people say Cena.
I wouldn't. Oh God, no!
No, I didn't say I would. I said a lot of people.
Well, those people deserve the Darby Allin fingernail skewer.
I know the Observer want Bandito, but I'm not pushing that narrative.
Well, speaking of narratives to push, for the Men's World Championship...
Whoa, wait a minute. Who won that match? Bandito.
I always forget the winner. Brodito.
Yeah, they won. And Okada accidentally, quote-unquote, clotheslined Takeshita. And they looked at each other at the end of the match.
Oh, you forgot, as Takeshita rolled out after the clothesline, he flipped him off.
Ah. And Okada didn't.
That's his Macarena.
Oh, yeah. Okada didn't look too disturbed about clotheslining Takeshita as well. And you know how they build up feuds around here, Mike. They stare at each other.
They stare. No words. The mute wrestling promotion. Well, to be fair, I do want to put it on mute a lot of times when the guys are on the mic. But for the men's,
hold up now. This whole pay-per-view was on mute for me. I had a great time not hearing any of the commentary.
Oh yeah. Oh well, Nigel's excellent. There was also no Brian Danielson this time for some reason. Shivani, Excalibur,
all on mute.
Yeah. Okay, they should make a mute button on like the Amazon broadcast for each individual announcer. Like, just let me hear Nigel having like schizophrenic conversations and never get a response.
How have they not done that yet?
I don't know. Amazon's really ahead of the game in streaming too, because they'll like tell you what actor it is in the scene, and with the NFL they have like live stats.
Yeah. I love their broadcast of the NFL.
Yeah, it's pretty top notch, I do have to admit. But anyways, the Men's World Championship, Hangman Adam Page versus Samoa Joe. Ryan, you want to kick this one off? I went on for a while with the last one.
I don't know where this. I didn't. Do I have anything for this one? No, I have nothing. It was fine. And Joe looked gassed in there. It went on for 15 minutes. Yeah, the ops turned heel, which nobody wanted to see. And yeah, we're gonna get another month of a filler feud for the hanger over here. That's our cowboy. Yeah.
Sure about that.
And you know, by the way, well, that's what the internet tells me. That's our cowboy. But if they were gonna turn heel, why didn't the heel group just help Joe win the world title?
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Samoa Joe.
Well, just a couple things, because I basically felt the same way that you did. Paige is suffering from the same thing that Cody is at this point, where they have no legitimate threats to their championship, so their reign is so boring to me. I honestly don't think it's much fault of Paige's as it is that he just has not had good challengers. Outside of MJF, they had a shoehorned feud with Kyle Fletcher, and now, like you said, this was a filler match that they've extended by the heel turn of the Ops, which I'm cool with the Ops being heel. I think Hobbs and Joe are both better heels than they are baby faces. At the same time, I still don't know that Samoa Joe and Hangman Adam Page is what I want to see again next month.
Yeah, I like how you just left out Shibata.
Well, I mean, it don't matter.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, come on.
Is he still gonna do the phone gimmick as a heel?
Yeah, just put an evil tone on it. Evil
Okay.
Siri be like. But yeah, I just don't know that I want to see it again. And I think both companies have a hard time booking babyface champions. And that's just where we're at with Paige. Like, they tried to play this thing during the match of like, oh, well, during his first reign, Hangman wasn't sure of himself. And then it really got me thinking, like, is this reign that much better than his first reign?
Well, I'm not.
I mean, they're both just kind of there. I guess this one
Yeah.
isn't being outshadowed by anything because there's nothing outshadowing anything on this show. It's
Yeah,
all equally uninteresting, especially on the weekly.
I think he has to be a huge part of the problem. The reason why they're dipping below and below what they usually do on a week-to-week basis. Just people aren't interested.
Yeah, I mean, and that sucks. You know what I mean? It's not completely Hangman's fault. I think a lot of it is the booking, but like when you really look at the knock, because that's a lot of people's knock on Shawn, he wasn't a good draw. And I'm sorry, but you can't convince me that these people that went to WrestleDream came for Joe versus Paige. They either came for Darby versus Mox, or they came because it's AEW. Like, that was it. I don't think a single soul bought a ticket because they had to see Hangman Adam Page versus Samoa Joe.
I think you
And when your
underestimate
world
the basement.
champion isn't pulling people in, I don't really know what to tell you. I think Paige is also becoming a curse merchant where the only way he can find to get a pop on the mic or in a match is to just curse. Because that was the biggest pop of the match was when Joe was, I believe he was chopping him, and Hangman said, "Come on, you MFer," and the people went crazy for that. Because, oh my god, foul language. Oh. And then that was
They
it.
died down. Yeah, then they died down again. Crowd was in a comatose state in this match too.
Oh yeah, halfway through the show they were dead, and I don't think they returned. They returned to Grimace and Ooh and Ah at the main event.
But then it just seems like they just stare.
St. Louis is not a good wrestling town either, because Backlash was the same way.
But they got up for Randy now.
Well, yeah, they like to sing.
Oh well, yeah.
But ultimately, like it was a fine match. Neither of these guys can say that this is their greatest match in AEW or anything. But I thought it was a solid back and forth. Joe dominated for most of the match. They went to I don't think it hung on too long either. And for that, I have to give them bonus points because every other match did. But yeah, outside of that, just like nothing that really blew me away.
Yeah, it was there.
And it's main event time, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Jon Moxley, the greatest member of the Shield. It's not just me
Oh,
saying it, it's Ryan saying it.
oh man.
Versus Darby Allin in an I Quit match.
What an odd I Quit match this was.
From what aspect?
Ah,
The entirety?
just yeah. It didn't seem like did they have a microphone for this whole thing?
I don't think so. Not
But
that
you
I
know,
remember.
I Quit match. The referee has a microphone.
Yeah,
I
he's got
don't.
to ask the guy if he wants to quit.
Yeah, did it? Maybe I just because I had the volume down. I don't know. Did they have? Did the referee ask somebody with the microphone? Do you want to quit? They just didn't
When
have
you
that.
mention it, I don't remember it, but I'm not going to say that it didn't happen.
Okay, all right. It's odd.
But it definitely was not for the whole match. If
Where
it
do you
did
draw?
happen.
Where do you draw the line in skewers? You for those?
No. I draw the line at them completely. Because as soon as he pulled him out, I was thinking to myself, there is absolutely nothing they could do with this other than tease the spot that I would be okay with. I didn't like when they did it in London and they fell out of his head and they, like, what's the word? Like, frayed out, basically. And this I really, really hated. I almost could not watch it, and I really, really hope that it was worked. But with these two, I'm not 100% sure that it was.
Did you see that tweet from that former AEW producer
About the
named
fish
Sarah
tank.
Stock? Yeah, about the fish tank. Did you see that?
Yeah, I figured we would get there when we get to the fish tank spot.
What do you have a problem with Sarah Stock saying that?
Well, let me pull up the official tweet and I'll read it because I don't.
Go ahead,
I
because people
remember seeing the entire thing develop in front of my eyes, but I don't remember what she said.
people were rallying together to just beat up on this woman on Twitter. It seems like the most organized AEW fans ever get is when it's time to harass women. You ever notice that? Remember the Luke Fisto situation when she called out the locker room? Remember the
Gail
Gail Kim
Kim.
situation? There you go. Yeah. Why is that?
Well, it's just funny because it really they
Most
fall on their
progressive fan
sword
base.
when they try to defend AEW or other people. Like, remember they were defending Riho because like people made racist comments and all this. And I get it. Like, people should not make racist comments to Riho. At the same time, you shouldn't make racist comments to Gail Kim either. Like, but that's what it turns into. It's like they harassed Riho off the internet. And then they go and like be like vicious to Gail Kim just because she disagrees with them. How is that any different?
Most progressive fan base, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like I said earlier. They go so far around to be progressive that they eventually come back to being hateful or wrong. Like it's like I said, it's the same thing with Tony. Like you're so far into being this hypersexual character that now you're no different than the women that were hypersexualized and that was all people cared about them. And like this is what we've tried to get past. And now we're just right back here because of a character like this. Anyways, I have the Sarah Stock tweet, which was in response to the fish tank spot. AEW tweeted the fish tank spot and said, who's going to stop this? And Sarah Stock tweeted and said, you know who should stop this? Mothers with their remote control. This is worse than the plastic bag over the head. Kids are going to end up dead trying this stuff at home.
What kid is watching AEW?
I
have never met a kid AEW fan. I've met kid WWE fans. We're not pen pals either. I just met them out in the open wearing merch. But I've never seen a kid wear AEW merch. Have you, Micah? I've never seen that.
Other than like at an event, no. Like not out in public.
There you go. But still, I see where she's coming from.
Well, I think it's somewhat of a bad faith argument. Because my issue with the fish tank is not even that, like, I thought it was just the craziest thing I've ever seen. I just thought it was stupid.
Yeah, it was.
Like, it just looked like it wasn't like, oh man, as a kid, like, I would think this was so cool and like I would want to do this. Like, no, Jeff Hardy jumping off of stuff was cool. That it was crazy, and I didn't do it, but like I could get there. But a freaking like just the preposterousness of the entire thing being set up.
A small fish tank.
Yeah, who thinks to bring a freaking fish tank? And then the announcers try to play it up. Oh my God, Jon Moxley's got an aquarium. No, that's just a fish tank. That thing is not big enough to be an aquarium.
A small fish tank where he could have literally knocked the fish tank over and all the water would have fell out.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just leverage his... Why couldn't he just push up on the mat, leverage himself out of it? Or just like move over a little bit so the fish tank falls over?
Also, it was one guy. Like, you mean to tell me... I'm sure you know, like, having a child... Like, when they are, like, kicking or something, like, they really don't want you to do something to them, they're freaking stout for their little bodies. You mean to tell me that Darby Allin couldn't stop Jon Moxley from pushing his head into this fish tank if he really wanted to?
You comparing Darby to a small child, Micah?
Well, no, but I'm saying, like, I don't know, when you go to put a onesie on your kid, I'm sure if they're fighting you, it's aggravating.
It's Liu Kang bicycle kick. That's what I get when it's
exactly
time to do a change. Yeah, I get you.
So,
look,
like, if Darby's sitting there propped up on the aquarium, I'm sorry, you cannot convince me that Jon Moxley was just able to push his head in there. Now, if you get the other Death Riders, like, sure, but even then, it's like you said, like, dude, just
push
fall
up
over.
Did you think they were going to bring out the piranhas?
No, I think I would like that more. That would have been cool.
Have you seen that? That used to be a thing in Japanese death matches.
I think I did see that at one. Was it the FMW Dark Side of the Ring, maybe?
Man, can you imagine the athletic commission when they brought out piranha?
Yeah, well, you guys didn't say anything about blood as long as it's diluted with water.
Peter stormed the ring at the Nick Dynamite.
Oh, God.
Is that still a thing? Peter's still a thing?
Oh, yeah. And the World Wildlife Fund.
Hey, man, that panda screwed us.
I always loved the logo with the chair shot.
Get the F out.
But, yeah, as far as the match goes, man, it was what I knew it was going to be. It was a spot fest, and I think Jon Moxley is horrible. He is so bad. He cannot do anything else other than this.
It's
and
sad,
you still have goofs that say he's the best wrestler coming out of the Shield.
It's sad. No, because bro, I was one of those goofs. I'm not gonna. I can't lie to you. I was one of those goofs. It's sad to see where he is today because he was such a hot babyface in 2015, 2016. Such a hot babyface.
Well, no, I'm not saying then. Like, if you felt that way then, that was one thing. But like, there are people that still say that to this day.
Oh no, I don't know who the heck is saying that, but it's just
People
weird
online
that
because he wrestles for their favorite company.
it's weird, bro. Like this was the match they should have just had at Double or Nothing, not Double or Nothing, All In, the show in Dallas. If Darby wouldn't have done that Mount Everest stunt, they could have just had this match at the show in Dallas that they had. This just seemed like a sequel to a movie that didn't need a sequel,
Yeah.
and the main character got recasted.
Which is how the entire Death Riders thing has felt since All In. Because it felt like Moxley should have taken time off after that. But instead, we're just subjected to him permanently.
Yeah, and you think he's taking time off after this I Quit match, Micah?
Oh no, I'm sure he wrestled tonight.
He did. Yeah, he did. He was in a match.
Jesus.
A one-on-one match. He was on a match. Bro, this Death Rider stuff is never going away. I hope people understand that.
And people are coming around to it now. That's what pisses me off.
They're pretending because they don't make no noise during the match. So I don't know who is banging on the desk demanding for more Death Riders.
No, people think it's great heel work. Like, here's the thing about heels in 2025. You're either the cool heel that people still cheer for, like a Seth Rollins or Samoa Joe at this point,
Or Dom.
or you're just bad. Not even in like, you're just a heel bad. But like, people think that genuinely being bad at your role just makes you a heel. Like, Moxley's group stinks. Oh, that's great heel work.
Yeah,
Remember
you're not
when?
supposed to like heel.
Yeah.
No, just
Remember when the Young Bucks admitted to making their wrestling bad? Which, I mean, that's
well,
I don't know that they had to make it, but remember they admitted that they were like trying to do worse in the ring because they were heels.
yeah.
At that point, you've just lost the plot, man.
Yeah, I agree, man. 100%.
So, other than that, a couple quick hitters. I thought Mox trying to bust Darby's mouth with the chain. I assume he was trying to bust it hard way. They really got to come up with better terms for this. But
hey, come on.
I don't know. It looked like he was laying them in, and that was kind of hard to watch. I hope not, at least.
That was fake. That was fake blood.
Really?
Oh yeah. You could tell it was fake blood. Bro, they couldn't bleed because of the athletic commission.
I thought maybe if it happened like again hard way, then
They still gotta stop the match.
wow. I didn't know that. Well, how could you tell it was fake blood then?
You can't tell what fake blood is?
No, I really can't. I mean, I can if it's like bright red, you know, but
It didn't even stay throughout the whole match, bro. How you know it was fake?
Interesting.
Because you remember when he went through the fish tank? The water didn't turn red at all.
Well, yeah, but that was like I figured it had like coagulated at that point.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know enough about it. As much
Fake
wrestling
blood.
as I've watched, I've never had like a moment where I was
Blood
like, "Oh,
capsule.
that's fake blood."
Fake blood capsule. I'm calling BS.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Other than that, like, why would Darby just stand there and literally beckon him to whip him with the belt? I don't know if you remember that, but he was like, "Come on!" And
We
then
don't know what he likes.
did the thing with the Bandito finish
You
where he
shaming
sticks his tail out.
Don't shame him.
No, I am
We don't know what
shaming.
he's in. We don't know what he's into. Man, come on now.
Well, some things deserve shame, regardless of what you're into.
That's what they like, man. They think it makes them look more, badass. If they just, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you pointed a bat at my head and I extend my head and continue to charge forward while you have a metal bat? That's in their head that looks cool. But in reality, like, why don't you just, knock him out with a metal baseball bat? He tried to light you on fire 2 weeks ago. He just tried to drown you.
Well, that would be too easy.
But no, let me hit you in the gut and then lightly tap you on the back when you just gave up your skull to me, your cranium, your head. Pause on all this. But I'm not gonna take a shot at your head. I'm gonna go downstairs with that. Dang, man, we were just going pause everywhere. But you see what I'm saying though, Mike? In their head,
Yeah.
it sounds cool, but in reality, when they actually do it, it just looks so goofy.
And I think that's a lot of this match. Just the drowning, the whole 9 yards. Sting came back, got a big pop.
Santa.
Turns out he was the kryptonite to the Death Riders, beat them all up.
Bro, if you're gonna appear on TV, can you look like you care? Sting looked like he rolled out of bed.
I
You
didn't
tell me he
hate
couldn't
it.
dye his hair for this?
I mean, I see your point, but I didn't hate it,
pay to
man.
see
Let
Santa
the guy ride off into the sunset.
No, they can't. They keep on bringing him back. So if you're gonna bring him back, make him look like Sting.
I guess that's true. They could
Why
just
did he
stay
not look
home.
like Sting? Yeah, he could have stayed home. And if he wasn't gonna stay home, why couldn't you help your young boy while he's getting drowned?
Why couldn't he help? If Sting was the kryptonite to the Death Riders and he could just beat them all up in one go, why has he waited this long?
He soloed the entire heel faction that's been running roughshod over the whole roster for the last year and a half. He solos all of them, and then takes the female valet that's been booked like China since she's re-debuted with the Death Riders, and just picks her up and takes her to the bag. Because why not? Of course. Well, he's Sting. Doesn't matter if he's 75 years old and looks like he should have a cane. I think doesn't matter. He's Sting.
Yeah. If you can tell, I wasn't a fan of the match. And frankly, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting pretty late here all in South Alabama. So we're going to send her home, Ryan. What would you give this show
Well,
out
hold
of
up
10?
now. Who won the match, Micah?
Well, we all know. Oh, no. Hold on. I almost sent us home. Matter of fact, that was about as flat of a finish as the actual finish was. After drowning and skewers and whipping with a belt, guess what Moxley gives up to? Which, I mean, all that stuff happened to Darby. But I'm saying, like, in the context of everything that happened in this match, what would you assume the finish would be? Maybe choking the guy? Maybe willing to set him on fire? Maybe gunpoint? Because, I mean, drowning can only end in one way. It's not just going to inflict punishment. Its a sole purpose is to kill.
He was asking for Darby to cave in his skull earlier, and he didn't give up to that.
Yeah. So, what does Moxley give up to?
Must be
Scorpion Deathlock.
Excuse me?
Oh, yeah. Where Darby can't even cinch it in all the way because Moxley's legs are too big.
And they're slipping and sliding because there's water all over.
Because it's soaking wet. And everybody online tried to freaking give this every excuse in the world.
Well, you see, when he lost his health, He
Yep.
quits because he's a heel. So it makes sense. Really? Okay. All right, then.
So why, if that was the case, why did he not just quit whenever Hangman? You know what I mean? Like, no, it took him choking him out.
Why didn't he quit when Darby had a metal baseball bat pointed at his skull?
Yeah. No, that's not enough. I need you to do a submission.
A devastating scorpion deathlock, man.
God Almighty. Oh,
While
would you rather
AEW,
be hitting the head with a metal baseball bat or putting the scorpion deathlock? Well,
you got
boy, that
you got an AEW flag tied around your throat too, pal.
just give me the Otani, I guess.
Oh,
That scorpion deathlock. What's that? What's that clip of the guy? It's from one of those prison shows, and the guy's anonymous, so he's all blacked out, and he's like, "But that thing, it scares me." and that's just Moxley with the scorpion deathlock. Like, are we dead serious?
Well, he was getting waterboarded. You could.
And then
he had the flag around him, and there was water all over the mat, so he was getting waterboarded.
Oh my God. And these idiots tried to compare it to when Gunther got busted open at SummerSlam and Gunther realized that he was mortal, and that was the selling point of that. So he got really like shook up when Punk busted him open. Yeah, that totally applies here, where Moxley 30 seconds ago said, "Beat my head in," and then he gets put in a scorpion deathlock and realizes that he's mortal, and ow, this actually hurts. God almighty, man.
Lit on fire? I'm good. Scorpion deathlock? That's too much.
That thing, it scares me.
I give up.
So
I didn't even see him say I quit either.
I didn't either. They just rung the bell.
Just ring the bell. Okay. All right. I thought the cancer was cut out, Mike.
What are you insinuating here?
I'm just saying the guy that never loses. Nah, he lost in this match.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start, man. It just...
Let's end it.
Yeah. I don't... It wasn't a good finish to the show. It wasn't a good finish to the match. And
whole show.
I think, like we were talking about it earlier, it just could have been sent in an email. Like, most of it did not need to be here, and AEW has gotten too oversaturated with pay-per-views. And I'm just at the point where it's like, both companies' weekly TV product is horrible. Raw is passable at times, and then you'll have the one like blue moon every 3 months that like an episode is excellent. But for the most part, Raw, SmackDown, and Dynamite are not good week to week. And with WWE, it's 5-match cards. You know how you go to this like 5-star gourmet restaurant and they give you this smidge of food with garnish, and like, yeah, it's pretty good, but like, it's not enough.
So you got hit McDonald's up on the way home.
Exactly. And then you go to Golden Corral, and it's way too much food, but none of it's good. But hey, at least there's a lot of food, and that's AEW.
That's a pretty good comparison. Yeah, I agree.
That's what I literally don't know a better way to describe it. So, like, I'm sorry. Here's the thing. I'm sorry if people listen to this show and think that we are just like WWE bootlickers, because we're not, and we have both very much called out WWE this year. I think both companies have done horrible, and this is the worst year I think that we've been doing this podcast probably since the podcast inception.
Yeah.
But I say all that to say this. I'm not just going to say, well, this pay-per-view was good because AEW made it, and this pay-per-view was bad because WWE made it, and vice versa. So we call it down the middle. We call a spade, and I'm sorry if you don't like it. I'm sorry if this makes us a Fed podcast. Wake up to reality and take your bias glasses off. And for the WWE fans, take your nostalgia glasses off. And then maybe we can all sit around the table and have discussions about why this pay-per-view and the current state of wrestling right now sucks. But other than that, Ryan, out of 10, what would you give WrestleDream?
Well, you set the table so well for me, Mike. I give it a dud. I didn't feel anything throughout this whole pay-per-view. Yeah, it just felt like an extra long collision. Or, if they would have just had 3 matches and this would have been Battle of the Belts, I think this could have been a really enjoyable show. Good little 2-hour Battle of the Belts. Maybe 4 matches. But when you stretch it out to 9, 10 matches and every match is 25 minutes, I didn't feel enough to make this worth the $50 tagline that this show was.
Yeah. See, that's the thing too. People don't think about it, but like they complain about WWE. Oh, how could I pay $30 for a 5-match card? Well, you're paying $50 for 9, and they're both about the same quality, which is bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 3, which I have rarely gone that low this year. I think the only thing that I have given that low would be Money in the Bank. Or as far as AEW goes, I have to go back all the way to Dynasty. But I think this is easily in the running for AEW's worst pay-per-view of the year. It felt like it didn't need to be here.
Maybe of all time. Most skippable AEW pay-per-view of all time.
It's definitely that. Definitely most skippable. There's nothing that happened here that like you miss in the 6 years of AEW that like you would need to go out of your way to watch. And typically there's at least one thing. Like even if we don't like the rest of the show, there's one thing to check out that's like a big moment. But yeah, we've had enough moments here on the podcast. Make sure you take care of yourself this weekend. Detox a little bit from wrestling. I think that's what I'm going to do. And hopefully we get to see the Tide stomp over the Gamecocks this weekend, which it is in South Carolina. So, well, we don't talk about cocks anymore here, pal. We're on ESPN.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But anyways, we'll be back next week. Weekly reviews, and I don't know. We might dive into Orlando next week and see what NXT is cooking just to change things up a little bit. So make sure you come back next week and see how we change up the scoop and the slams. But as always, take care of yourself and have a good one.